Hello everyone, I'm Yash Khandilwal. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss another interview related problem based on arrays in JavaScript. So let's discuss what the problem is. Given an array nums which consists of 0, 1 and 2, sort the array in ascending order. You must solve this problem without using any extra space and any inbuilt function. So let's discuss this problem in detail in code editor. So is the problem we have just read. So let's discuss it with the use of an example. So this is the given input we have. This is an array which consists of 0, 1 and 2. So we have to sort this array in ascending order, like zeros on the very left, then all the ones, and then all the twos at the very right. Right. In this array also we have to do the same thing. Zeros at the very start, then all the ones, and all the twos. The problem here is we have been asked to do this problem without using any extra space and any inbuilt function in JavaScript. So we cannot use any sort method or any extra arrays to store all the zeros and all the ones and all the twos, then using the spread operator to join them and give the output in a new array. We have to do this in place in this array only. So how can we do this? So we can do this with the help of an algorithm. The algorithm, it is very famous algorithm to solve this problem. It is very famously known as DNF sort algorithm. DNF stands for Dutch National Flag algorithm. So the idea behind that algorithm is like if I can store all the zeros at the very start and all the twos at the very end, so all the ones will always going to be lying in between, right? So now my question boils down to how can I store all the zeros at the very start and all the twos at the very end, right? So how can we do this? So we can do this with the help of three variables. Let's take these three variables. Bear with me a little and you will get to know how we can solve this very easily. Like we will take three variables like low, mid and high, right? So what is the significance of each of these variables? Like low will gonna track the position of zeros. Like I will initiate it with 0. What does this tell me? We have to start storing zeros from index 0. Mid we will going to use to traverse the array, and high we will initialize it with at the end of the array. Like so the last index of the array is 8, so I will initialize high with 8. This tells me that I have to store 2 at the 8th index, right? So and I will gonna loop over the array till mid will reach to the end or mid will gonna cross high, because high is lying at the very end and mid is lying at the very start. So let's dry run this approach once at the given input, right? So when my mid is at 0, I will check nums of mid. Nums of mid is 2. Now I told you that we will gonna put all the 2's at the very end, right? And high will tell me like at which index I have to place the 2. So I have encountered a 2. So I will place this 2 at the 8th index because high is at 8. So I will swap these two elements, like at the 0th element at the 0th index and element at the 8th index. So after first iteration my array will look like this, right? I have swapped these this one and this two with each other, right? Now I have placed a 2 at the 8th index, so I will decrement high by 1, right? So this tells me that whenever I encounter another 2, I will place that 2 at 7th index, because at index number 8 I have got a 2 already, right? So I will move. Now I have 1 at index number 0, right? So whenever I have in 1 at uh, nums of mid, so I will not do anything, I will just move forward, because I don't have to place 1 by choice. I only have to take care of the zeros and all the twos. One will take care of themselves by itself, right? So whenever I encounter 2, I will just move forward by 1. So now my mid will gonna lie at 1, right? So now nums of mid is again 2. What I have to do? I have to swap this with high, right? Because I have to place this 2 at the very end. And at which index? It's at index number 7. So I will again gonna swap elements at index number 1 and at index number 7, right? So now my array will gonna look like this: 1 1 again here, 2 0 1 0 1 2 and 2, right? Because I have placed a 2 at index number 7, so I will decrement high by one more, right? So now at index number 1 I have got a 1. Whenever I encounter a 1, I will just move on, right? I came at index number 2. Again, at index number 2, I got a 2. So I have to place this 2 at the very end. And at what index? At index number 6, because high is at index number 6. So I will swap index number element at index number 2 with element at index number 6 again. So my array will look like 1, then 0, then 1, then 1, then 2, 2, and 2. Right. So we can see that the 2's are getting at the very end, right? We will tackle. I think I have missed a 1. Yes, I have missed a 0. Yes, 0 is here, right? So now at index number 2, I will check again. I got a 1, right? So whenever I got 1, I will just move on, right? Now I am at index number 3 and I got a 0. What we told earlier, we have to place all the 2's at the end and all the zeros at the very start, right? And low will keep track of the index, like where I have to store my next 0, right? Because low is at 0, so I have to place this 0 at index number 0. So I will just swap these two elements, like at index number 0 and index number 3, right? So when I swap this, my array will gonna look like this, right? And now I will move low by increment low by 1. Why? Because now I have 0 at index number 0. Whenever I encounter another 0, I have to store that at index number 1, right? And I will increment my mid by 1 as well, right? So now my mid is at index number 4. I encountered a 1, so I move on. My mid will become 5 now. At index number 5, I have got a 0 again. Now I have to place this 0 at the very start. And at which index? At index number 1, right? Because I already got a 0 at index number 0. So after this, my array will look like 0, 0, then 1, 1, 1, and this 0 got replaced by this 1, right? So we will have a 1 here as well. Right. So now I will increment my low by 1 and I will increment my mid by 1 again, right? Now I am at index number 6, so I have got a 2 and I will replace this. I have to place this 2 at the very end, and at what index? At index number 6, right? So this is already at index number 6, but just for the sake of algorithm, I have to swap this. So again, after this iteration, the array will look exactly the same, right? I have got 2 at index number 6 now. Now I will decrement the high, which tells me that now whenever I got 2, I have to place that at index number 5, right? Now I will see that my mid has crossed high, right? This indicates that I have encountered all the elements at once. I started mid from the very start and I initialized high at the very end, and they have crossed each other. So what does this tell me? This tells me that I have encountered all the elements, some of them from the start and some of them from the end, right? So I at this position I have to stop. And as I can see, my array has already got sorted, right? So this is the approach we will gonna code now, right? So let's code this approach as well. So let's create a function sort 0 1 2, which will gonna take an array nums. Right, now let's initialize these three variables. Let low is equal to 0, mid is also 0, and high is equals to nums dot length minus 1. Right, and I will use a while loop because I have to iterate till mid is less than equal to high. Right, so and I will check for if nums of mid is equal to 0, then I have to do something. Else if nums of mid equal to 1, then I have to do something else. Right, if nums of mid can either be 0 or it can be 1 or it can be 2 only. Right, so I know when it is going to 1, I just have to move forward because my target is not to align all the ones, they will got aligned by themselves. Right, so I will just move the mid by 1. Now whenever my mid nums of mid is equal to 0, I have to swap that with index number, with the element at index number low. Right, so how can I swap two elements? So either I can use a extra variable like let temp is equal to nums of low, then nums of low equals to nums of mid, then nums of mid is going to be 10. Right, and then I have to move my low by 1 and my mid by 1 as well. Right, so I can swap using an extra variable, or in JavaScript we can swap by using destructuring. And how can we do that? Very simple. Nums of low comma nums of mid is equal to nums of mid comma nums of low. Right, so instead of writing this, I can use this to swap these two elements. Right, so I have covered when nums of mid equals to 0, when nums of mid equal to 1, and similarly when nums of mid equal to 2. I have to swap the element at index number mid and at index number high. Right, because whenever I encounter a 2, I have to place it at the end, and the index will got by this high variable. Right, so again I have to swap nums of mid nums of high should be nums of high comma nums of mid, and will wrap it in an array. Right, and I have to decrement the high by 1. Right, so this is the approach we are going to use. Right, so let's check this out. Console dot not console dot log sort 0 1 2 and pass it the array nums. Right, and then console dot log nums. Right, so let's check. Yes, this array has got sorted. Right, so let's check it with another array as well, nums of 1. So sort nums of 1 and then log out nums of 1 as well. Yes, this has got sorted as well. It has two zeros, four ones, and three twos. Right, so yes, two zeros, four ones, and three twos. Right, so this is the approach. This is called the DNF algorithm, DNF sorting algorithm. Right, so I hope you like the solution. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Comment me down below if you want more such videos, and please consider subscribing to the channel for more such videos. Thank you.